It was a happy Sunday for New York football fans. Both the Jets and Giants recorded victories in Week 2. So let's talk some New York football with SNY Jets and Giants insider Connor Hughes. Joins me now. Connor, how was your Week 2 football watching?
So far, so good. I was obviously at MetLife Stadium for the Giants victory, which was kind of cool seeing that team win in person for the first time. And then I had right next to me on my SNY tablet, give them a little bit of a plug, but I had the Jets game streaming there. So to go back and forth from one team to the other team, back to the other team to that team, and to see the way that both those games went, they both really came down to the wire, the Jets especially. So it was pretty cool. And it's been a while, I think, since we had a Jets and Giants victory in the same weekend. So it was cool to see that.
That is true. And even for New York, it's been a while since we saw the Jets, the Giants, the Mets, and Yankees all winning the same day. That hasn't happened since 2009. But we're talking football. No Mets, Yankees here. Let's start with the Jets. No moral victories for Gangrene this week with a comeback win in Cleveland. So what was the difference for them between Week 1 and Week 2?
Well, I think Joe Flacco was a big reason for that. He obviously played a pretty good game there. I mean, he missed some throws. The guy's 37 years old. He's a backup quarterback, not a starter for a reason. You know you're not going to get a perfect game from him. But I think the biggest difference between Week 1 to Week 2 for the Jets is that Mike LaFleur and the Jets offense, they put the ball in their young players' hands. You know, so many times you have coaches that are very timid or hesitant to go to the youth, right? Because they know that the young guys, there's a chance that they're going to make young mistakes, mental mistakes, things like that. And they all kind of want like the slow development wait. No, not with the Jets. It's baptism by fire. And after kind of having Garrett Wilson sit on the side for a little bit in Week 1 because they wanted to go with their 2 tight ends, they basically said, no, we're not doing that. Let's put him back out there. And they went to him time and time and time again. Obviously had the huge game, the 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. I think Jets targeted him close to 15 times or so, or something like that. Elijah Moore obviously involved. You saw Breece Hall catch the touchdown. So when you see what the way that the Jets made their comeback, the way the Jets scored points on offense, a lot of it was the youth. A lot of it was the young guys that they have drafted over the last couple of years come into play. And you saw that. And it's cool because I think if you're the Jets and you're Jet fans, you're looking at this roster and you want to see the pieces and the players that are going to be a part of this team going forward. You know, the guys that are going to help you not just in 2022, but 2023, 2024, and 2025. And all of those players, the core group that's going to be a part of this future, they were all involved here in the victory for the Jets. And that's got to make you feel pretty good moving forward.
Yeah, definitely got to make Jets fans feel pretty good there. Now, on to the Giants. What's good with the Giants? They were supposed to be rebuilding. Now they're 2-0. And it was another game where they played much better in the second half than they did in the first half. So has first-year head coach Brian Daboll already changed the culture with Big Blue, Connor?
Oh, absolutely. I think 110% he's changed the culture. And, you know, look, I'm one of the ones who's I'll put my hand up and say my bad on this one, because I remember watching the Giants throughout training camp and seeing them throughout some of these practices. And I've got friends of mine who are Giant fans, and they all ask me, like, hey, you're seeing the Giants now. You know, we don't want to talk about the Jets. Let's talk about the Giants. How do you think they're going to be? And I'll be honest, man, I told them that they're going to be a bad football team because I didn't see it in training camp. I didn't see it in practices. I didn't see a team that I thought was going to win 2 games to start the season. I thought a team that I thought I saw a team that would rival for a top pick in the NFL draft. But what you can't measure and what you can't necessarily see in practices is the way that Brian Daboll has been able to, like you said, just completely change the culture of this team, the way that he has these guys believing in themselves. No, the Giants aren't supposed to be good. No, when you look at this roster on paper, you see concerns on the offensive line. You see playmakers that have a tendency to disappear. You see a pass rush that's down their top 2 pass rushers. You see a revolving door at cornerback outside of Adoree Jackson. You see special teams that have some concerns. You see a young coaching staff. I mean, the Giants aren't supposed to be winning games, yet they're winning games anyway. And when you talk about things when you talk about the qualities that make a good football team, you can say players, you can say talent, you can say coach, all that fun stuff you can say. But what makes a good teams good and what separates the good teams from the bad teams is that when you get down to games like this, when you play in games like this, like the Giants played last week against the Titans, and then you saw the Giants play again this week here against the Carolina Panthers, is that when things aren't going perfect, when things aren't going right all the time, when you've got some breakdowns on defense, some breakdowns on offense, when it's just not the perfect game plan, the good teams find ways to win the games that are ugly. And when you talk about the deficiencies of this Giants roster, there's not going to be very many games that they win 34-3 or 28-7, where it's an easy game in the fourth quarter and you know they're going to walk off with the victory. They're going to be in a lot of these games, these tightly contested contests. But the fact that they have been in one in week 1 and pulled out the victory, one in week 2 and pulled out the victory, that is a testament to the man who's on the sideline leading this team. He has these guys believing, and they're believing in themselves. And obviously that's making a really, really, really big difference on the field.
Absolutely. So with that being said, the Jets are 1-1. The Giants are undefeated after 2 weeks. So how excited should fans of both teams be at this point, or should fans curb their enthusiasm heading into week 3?
I would say that actually going into week 3, both of these teams should have realistically high expectations. And the reason that I say that is because you have a Giants team that's going into a Monday night showdown against the Dallas Cowboys and the Dak Prescott-less Dallas Cowboys. And I know they came away with a pretty big victory there against the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend. But there's no denying that Cowboy team is very, very different without Dak Prescott than with him. And I think there's a chance there for the Giants to get after that offense a little bit. And potentially on the flip side of that, as long as they can contain Parsons and keep him off of Daniel Jones's back, there might be a few opportunities there to move the ball a little bit on offense. So there's a chance there for the Giants. Then you flip the other side of the coin there with the Jets against the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, I mean, we talk about Super Bowl hangovers. I mean, the Bengals are certainly going through one of them right now, right? I mean, Joe Burrow looks like he's dealing with some slow starts. Chase is magnificent, but that defense is dealing with issues. The offensive line still is not very good, so there's a chance for the Jets to even get in on that one as well. And you know the MetLife's going to be rocking for New York because after that victory that they just had over the Cleveland Browns. So, you know, we're talking about the first time in a long time since the Giants and Jets are both coming off of victories on Sunday. We might be looking at the continuation of that again this weekend because obviously the Jets have a good one here against the Bengals, and I think there's a chance for them to win it, as crazy as that may sound. Then obviously the Giants have, like I said, the Prescott-less Cowboys, which again is another winnable game for New York. So who knows? Maybe 2-1, 3-0 when we're doing this talk next week.
Uh-oh, Connor, you're exciting the New York football fans. Optimism is here. Fall is about to start, and we got optimism in the air for New York football, which is a good thing. That is Connor Hughes, SNY insider covering the Giants and Jets. Connor, great insight. Thanks for your time, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.